Hello GCC, we're back in chapter 7. This is the second video. We are talking about ionic bonding. Now we just learned that ionic bonding is when metals lose electrons and give them to nonmetals. So the electrons are completely transferred from a metal to a nonmetal. So here we have a sodium atom in purple and a chlorine atom in green. The sodium atom is in column 1, sodium. And so it wants to lose one electron and become a +1 ion. Now chlorine is in the halogen column, column 7A. And Cl wants to gain one electron and become Cl -1 ion. So this is a perfect pair. Sodium's going to lose an electron and give it to the chlorine, who will take the electron. Perfect. Then we have Na+1, Cl -1, +1 -1 attracts together and makes an ionic compound. Perfect. Now, did you notice the size changed? Yeah, the sodium lost an electron and that made it smaller, and chlorine gained an electron and that made it bigger. So when you lose an electron, like sodium, it's going from the third level, it's losing that 3s1 electron and becoming smaller because it's going to the second level. So it moved inwards. When we lose our outer electrons, we get smaller because we jump in a level. So it's definitely smaller. Now the Cl atom gained an electron and it had to put it somewhere. Electrons don't like to be real close, so we had to make that level a little bigger to make room for that extra electron to pop in. So we had to get a little bit bigger for that extra electron because electrons repel each other, so it pushed out a little bit. So Cl- is bigger than the Cl atom. Now let's consider Mg and S atoms. Mg is in the second column, 2a. So it wants to lose 2 electrons and become Mg+2 as an ion. Now sulfur is in the 6a column under oxygen. It wants to gain those 2 electrons and become S-2 ion. So this is a perfect pairing. Now let's examine how many protons and electrons are on each of them and then figure out how they would bond. So here's some information. Mg is number 12, meaning as an atom, it has 12 protons and 12 electrons because they're the same when you're an atom. Now Mg2+ lost 2 electrons, but it still has 12 protons. It still has an atomic number of 12. The protons stays the same. So 12 protons still, but the electrons went down to 10 because it lost 2. So it only has 10 electrons now. Now sulfur is number 16. It has 16 protons and 16 electrons as an atom because they're the same as an atom. But S-2 has gained 2 electrons. The protons stayed the same. So the protons are still 16. But the electrons went up to 18 because it gained the 2 lost by the magnesium. So now we have Mg2+ and S2-. +2, -2, opposites attract. So those come together and they're attracted and they stick together like little magnets. They are attracted by electrostatic forces. Opposites attract. So Mgs makes an ionic compound with an ionic bond. Recap ionic size. Now remember, cations have lost electrons. So we've moved in a little bit and we are smaller than the atom from which we came. Anions are negative. We gained electrons. Electrons repel and push away and had to push out and become a little bit bigger. So anions are larger than the atom from which they came. So now we're ready for some true-false questions regarding an ionic bond between aluminum and iodine. Aluminum is in column 3, plus 3 column. Iodine is a halogen. It's in the -1 column. So let's think about these, aluminum and iodine. Number 1, the aluminum atom will lose electrons and the iodine will gain electrons. True or false? True. Metals lose, nonmetals gain. That's true. Yeah, true. Number 2, the aluminum atom is larger in radius, in size, than the aluminum ion. Okay, aluminum atom, it lost 3 electrons. So the outer electrons went away and it got smaller. So the aluminum ion is smaller, making the aluminum atom larger. So that's true. It's true. Number 2 is true. Number 3, the iodine atom is smaller in radius than the iodine ion. So we have an iodine atom and it gained an electron to become the ion. So when it gains an electron, it has to make more room for the electron and get bigger. So the iodine ion is bigger, the iodine atom is smaller, and so that's true. Number 4, the aluminum and iodine ions form a bond by being attracted to each other. Yeah, opposites attract. So those were all true. Now you may be wondering, if aluminum is a +3 and iodine is a -1, how does that work? Well, you're actually going to need 3 iodines to bond with the aluminum. So the formula is Al(I)3, subscript 3. Yeah, you need 3 I's to go with 1 aluminum, since iodines are -1, but the aluminum is +3. Yep. All right, metallic bonding. We don't cover metallic bonding in Chem 130. We just wanted you to know it exists, but we're really not going to talk about it. Pure metals like silver and gold have a moving sea of electrons. The electrons are all shared and go all around and flow with the metal atoms. This is why they can conduct electricity so easily, because those electrons can flow. But we're really not going to talk about metallic bonding in this course. And so that's it for this video. When we come back, we'll talk about covalent bonding. Thanks, GCC.